everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Media Boat Podcast, your weekly rundown where we talk about movies, TV, music, and video games, but not necessarily in that order. My name is Mike. His name is Matt.
My name is Matt. His name is Mike. You are redlining whenever you do that hello at the beginning of the episode. You've done that last 3 weeks, I think. And every time I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I hear it on the playback. I gotta go like,
Yeah,
hello.
yeah, yeah. That works. Yeah, just like kind of shoot it a different direction, not
Yes.
right towards the
Not right, like just
mic.
go one to your ears.
Anyway, yes, he's Mike. I'm Matt. This is the Media Boat Podcast. Like you said, we're going to talk about all that stuff and more for you today. It is March the 27th, 2026. I almost said 27. I was like rolling with the sevens there. And yeah, it is episode 531.
Yep. Just a casual episode wrapping up
Yep.
the end of March here. Thank you for being with us. And a big thank you to everyone who went out and watched our March Madness video out on YouTube. If you did not watch it or have yet to watch it, just look for us at YouTube. You'll see our Pokemon March Madness tournament where we went over all 16-ish mainline entries into the Pokemon franchise, bracketed them out, and ultimately landed on the wrong decision. How we did that, you can watch and find out.
Hey, who says? Well, I said actually at the end of
Yes,
that.
you say it multiple times. Whether it's right, whether it's wrong, you can watch it and tell us by emailing us at mediaboatpodcast@gmail.com. Now that we've got that intro bumper out of the way, let's get into our normal regular show, starting with the music section. Start the music section with the Billboard. Start the Billboard with the Hot 100. And the hottest song in the land is Choosing Texas by Ella Langley. Back
Dope.
at number one. At two, Man, I Need by Olivia Dean. Coming in at three, I Just Might by Bruno Mars. At four, Ordinary by Alex Warren. And rounding out your top five, Golden by Huntrix, the Grammy Award winning and Academy Award winning song, Golden by
Yes.
Huntrix. But yeah, this seems very familiar for a top
hmm
five,
Golden getting the Oscar bump, I guess. Now that's a thing, I guess.
I guess. But as for your album chart, your Billboard 200, at number one is Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally by Harry Styles. At two, the problem himself, Morgan Wallen. Coming in at three, Mutiny After Midnight by Johnny Blue Skies and the Dark Clouds. At four, Unique by P1 Harmony. And rounding out your top five, Debbie Tunar Mas Fotos by Bad Bunny.
Yep.
Yeah, Harry Styles still sitting on top for the album chart, but dropping
Yes.
out of that Hot 100s.
Fun fact about the Johnny Blue Skies record. I don't know if you're familiar, but that is an alter ego of sorts for Sturgill Simpson, the country artist.
Oh,
And
okay.
this is the first time in a while that we've had a top three album chart. That has not does not have a streaming release. This is just based on pure sales.
Well, we don't do that anymore. At least I
Yeah,
thought
I
we
know.
don't
Fun
do that
fact.
anymore.
Some artists still do. Some artists are die hard like that.
All right. Well, if you feel like any of those albums, we have new releases. Starting with What's Clever by Charlie Puth. Yes, that
Whatever
Charlie
is
Puth. Also, I said that wrong
whatever is
because it's
clever.
not a question.
Yes.
It's whatever's clever.
Yeah.
Because there's an exclamation point there. We also have Creature of Habit by Courtney Barnett. Xavier by Fetty Wap. That's Xavier with a Z, not an X.
Mhm.
Honora by Flea, not to be confused
Mhm.
with Honora, the movie.
But yes, that's that flea.
Yes, bassist Flea,
Yes. Mhm.
not the itchy Flea. We also have Event Beat by Holy Fuck. That's the name of the band. That's not just me saying that for randomness.
Sure.
We also have Against the Dying of the Light by Jose Gonzalez. All Clouds Bring Not Rain by Memorials in all caps. Not to be outdone, This Music May Contain Hope in all caps by Ray, also
Yes.
in all caps. There's also Sexistential by Robin. Yes, that Robin.
Yep.
Ricochet by Snail Mail. Your music of choice.
Uh, I was gonna hold this for the thoughts. I don't have much to say about it. I just actually just finished listening to it, and it's okay.
No,
I'm a
no.
little disappointed.
We'll get more in the thoughts section because, as is the title of our next album, Almost There by The Academy is dot dot dot. That's the name of the band. We also have The Former Side of by the new pornographers. Of course, not to be confused with the old pornographers.
Yeah, we don't talk about them.
No, not since the new ones came out. It's like a re-release or a remake.
Sure, something like that.
Yeah. And lastly, in new releases, also in all caps, so pardon your levels, but it's The Long Goodbye by The Twilight. Sad.
Sound like you're going for like a ballpark announcer there.
With the long goodbye.
Yeah, it's your long goodbye.
Only fits over 420 feet. All right, let's. No one knows. If you make
Yeah,
that
no.
connection, that's like way out there.
Yeah, you have to have an extremely long goodbye to get the Baja Blast. That's for
Yes,
sure.
and it's also a very inside baseball reference. Also,
Literally.
or is it really an
Yeah.
outside baseball reference? Because it's out of
And
the
yeah,
park.
it's outside because the baseball is outside the park.
Yes, inside the stadium, outside the park.
Yeah.
Although if you do hit it outside the stadium, that still counts.
Hey,
Because I'm sure
apparently
it's
if you
over
hit
four.
it on the like a thing on the roof, it doesn't count, is what we learned this week. I am very sad for Yordan Alvarez because that would have been points for me. We'll get to baseball later.
Yes, but first we got to get into music news and where to go, where all music roads lead to. The U.S. Supreme Court.
Something like that.
Eventually, everything lands in front of the U.S. Supreme Court, and this case just happened to be the one on the docket. Pun
Mhm.
definitely intended there, because the U.S. Supreme Court ruled unanimously in a very rare unanimous vote from them
Yeah.
that Cox Communications, yes, that Cox
Hmm.
Communications,
Yeah.
they cannot be held liable for music piracy committed by its users, meaning you, the current listener, as they are rejecting a $1 billion lawsuit filed by major labels, along with dozens of other rights holders, Universal Music Group, Sony Music Entertainment, and Warner Music. All three initially sued Cox Communications, the largest unit of privately owned Cox Enterprises and the third largest broadband service provider in the US, because they don't go after the top two, in 2018 after it was sent tens of thousands of notices flagging infringement of copyrighted songs. The following year, being 2019, the labels won their lawsuit with a $1 billion award. But in today's ruling, Justice Clarence Thomas wrote, quote, under our precedences, The company is not liable as a copyright infringer for merely providing a service to the general public with knowledge that it will be used by some to infringe copyrights. Accordingly, we reverse. Close quote. So that $1 billion award does not need to be paid out anymore by Cox Communication.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to say it. It feels weird to say in 2026, but yeah, the Supreme Court got it right this time. Um,
Oh, I have some Listerine here if you want to wash your mouth out for saying that.
sorry, I know it's weird, but in this case, what do you know when you actually go off of established precedent? Turns out most of the time that that's correct. When they don't is when we get some strange, bizarre decisions that we've been getting the last year or so. But that's not what we're talking about here. No, this story is, yeah, this is interesting because, yeah, no, like, oh God, that was terrifying. Look, this eye correcting thing, if I put my like finger just here, it looks like I'm like putting my finger behind my own eyeball,
Yeah.
which is terrifying. And I'm never going to do that again.
Yes, that's
Whew,
a
boy.
visual joke for you watching
Yeah.
YouTube.
If you're watching the video version, you are going to have nightmares now, and I'm sorry about that. No, anyways, yeah, because yeah, as precedent says, the company is not liable for people who use the internet for nefarious means just because they provide the internet to the people. Because, like they point out, what are they going to do? Like immediately terminate like every user's account, like as soon as they download illegally download music? Oh, that would be like half of their user base. Like they want to get paid too. It doesn't make any sense for Cox to have any sort of like plan, like some sort of case for that, unless they're like, using like a lot of like a shit ton of data or something, and they find out that it's because they're running an entire server of illegal downloads, then maybe that's different. That's a different ballgame. But most of the time, they're talking about people who are like, I downloaded some LimeWire MP3s in 2007. Like, they're not going to go after them. Like, that's so long ago and so small potatoes. So yeah, this was never going to be something that the labels were going to win at the end of the day. Like there's no case. It's kind of the rule of the internet, that the websites provide the service, and what you do with that, like, comments and stuff like that, the blame never goes on the website. It's the individual. And that goes out to internet providers as well. So that's just how the laws have been written about the internet. Maybe someday they'll change, but for now, that's just how it works. That's just precedent.
Right. I mean, Cox Communications is providing a service to its people. What they do with that service is their own, under their own volition, under their own
Yeah.
guard, under their own watch. Because
It's
what are you
sort
going to
of
do next?
like, yeah,
Sue the electrical company for providing them the power to download their music?
right. Or yeah, or oh, they used the power to like, yeah, I don't even know what the equivalent would be, to power a blowtorch, which then set fire to a house. Like what? Or if like you
You'd
wrote
sue Home
something in
Depot
a,
for providing the blowtorch that
yeah,
started the arsonist fire.
right. Or you could say, oh, well, I'm gonna sue the United States Postal Office because somebody sent a letter that said mean things to me.
Don't give people ideas.
It's such a weird place to go. But yeah, I'm glad that they landed on the correct decision this time.
I mean, yeah, occasionally, sometimes
Yeah, broken
things
clock
work
and all
out.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
broken clocks. All right. Speaking of broken clocks, you need to talk to me about snail mail, or do you not want to
uh,
talk about snail mail?
I already said what I was gonna say. I don't need to go long on it because again, not a super mainstream record. But yeah, I just thought it was okay. I didn't like the production choices on a lot of it, and you know, I understand that Lindsay had some vocal surgery and recovery after she got some sort of issue with her vocal cords, and so I understand that she kind of had to rebuild. But still, I just didn't think the songs were as good. Sorry, Lindsay.
All right. Did you happen to listen to the new Harry Styles record? in its
No,
entirety yet?
I have not. No, I'm still way behind. I actually just the reason why I was able to listen to Snail Mail today was as of yesterday. I just caught up to current day with my music like spreadsheet, and I have today's releases still. So that's one out of six or seven that I need to get to. So yeah, I've still got a little bit more, and then I'll get to the pop stuff.
All right, you crossed the 100 mark, right, on your albums?
This year, I don't know if I'm quite to 100 yet listened to. But I could be wrong. I think right now I'm at listened to total of 57.
Oh, okay, so only half there.
Yeah, but total that are on the docket to listen to, that some that can wow, I'm actually exactly halfway through because there's 57 that I haven't listened to yet that are either out and I haven't given a shot or that are coming out later in the year.
So if you were keeping pace, that would be over 100 then, 114.
Yeah, I'll get there
All
eventually.
right, so I wasn't that far off with
You
my
weren't far off.
guess. All right. Well, yeah, I'm still listening to said uh Terry Styles album,
Cool.
along with
Uh,
the usuals in the rotation.
Glad
So
that's working out for you.
let's go on to video games, where we start with
Yes.
new releases, starting with Marvel Maximum Collection. That's a big X there in the Maximum Collection for the PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, and the Switch. Um, X-Men, Marvel, Big X, X-Men.
Yeah.
We also have Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection for everything. Wide release. You got it. You can play it.
I think the Star Force games were the Battle Network spinoff on the DS. I think that sounds right. I didn't play those.
Neither did I. We also have Grind 2 for the PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. Legacy of Kain, Ascendance for everything. Wide release. You got it. You can play it. Oh, except for last gen. No PS4, no Xbox. Sorry,
Oh,
just no PS4. You got Xbox Series X here, but no Xbox One. And lastly, in new releases, South of Midnight for the PS5 and the Switch 2. This was previously out on Xbox.
correct. A very cool game that unfortunately, if you're supporting the Xbox boycott, you still cannot play because it's a Microsoft Game Studios title. But whenever that ends, I do recommend it. It's a really, really cool game.
All right. Well, let's get into video game news. And it's a downer of a news. And don't let my cheery voice distract you, because Epic Games has announced that it's laying off over 1,000 employees, which could represent as much as 23% of its workforce.
Yikes.
In a note sent to staff on Tuesday, Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney partially blamed a quote downturn in Fortnite engagement on the decision. The game's rocket racing, ballistic, and festival battle stage modes will soon be shut down, Epic concurrently announced. Despite remaining, one of the most successful games in the world, Fortnite has seen inconsistent engagement between seasons. And Sweeney said as much, and it is at the early stages of returning to mobile following years of legal battles. Tuesday's note read, quote, today, we are laying off over 1,000 Epic employees. I'm sorry we're here again. The downturn in Fortnite engagement that started in 2025 means we're spending significantly more than we're making, and we have to make major cuts to keep the company funded.
I
Close
don't
quote.
know what to do with this story. It's very easy to assume that Tim Sweeney is lying here. I say that it's very easy because obviously we know, one, as the story mentions a couple times, how successful Fortnite is.
Hmm.
Two, we know that constant sponsorship deals are happening with Fortnite because otherwise there wouldn't be those characters and partnerships in the game itself if they didn't have companies teaming up with them. And I'm sure money is exchanged when those things happen. Then also, because it's advertising, it's just those marketing arms of those companies are making those deals. It is an ad. And then on top of that, if you recall, last year we had the Disney investment that invested $1 billion+ into Fortnite. So where is this money? Where has this money gone? Like what? It doesn't make any sense. Operating, sure. You're operating servers for the game that I'm sure are massive because there's a lot of players, a lot of concurrent players. He mentions that it's a lot of this churn is between seasons, which makes sense because when a new season launches, especially one with a popular partnership like The Simpsons, you see a massive uptick in the concurrent players on, say, Steam or any of the platforms. That's correct. And maybe you don't see, maybe that doesn't plateau. Maybe that just goes off a cliff once the season ends and you kind of have like the no man's land where everybody's finished their battle passes and only the diehards are continuing. But I have to imagine just the streaming ecosystem by itself proves that there is probably a lot of people who are diehards for Fortnite and then don't leave. So sure, there is some churn, and sure, you can't have, millions upon millions of people like you do at the beginning of the season every single day of the season. But there's no way that that math doesn't add up unless they're spending like some sort of mysterious money on gold toilets for the executives or something. I just don't understand. Unless there's a giant hole in their accounting system, I do not understand how you have to let go 1,000 developers in order to make ends meet. To make ends meet shouldn't even be a sentence we're saying about Epic Games. They are worth billions of dollars. Tim Sweeney by himself is worth billions of dollars. What are we talking about? How did we get here? They must be doing something horribly wrong in their accounting in order to be truthful with these statements because I don't understand what they're talking about.
All right. So two things with this announcement. First one comes at the end of March, literally
Mhm.
the last week of the month,
Yeah,
which
fiscal year.
or last the full week, which is also the last of the fiscal year. So
Yes.
how much of this is just monetarily trying to, I'm not saying cook their books, but I'm saying make their spreadsheets balanced by the end of the fiscal year for investors when those meetings inevitably happen within the next 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Second, how much of this is also being powered and driven by the two favorite letters of every CEO right now, AI.
There's a theory going around that some of this is AI based, that they feel like they can automate some processes to streamline whatever that means when tech companies say it, some of the development process. Not surprising when you consider that they work closely with NVIDIA, and like they're, a big AI warehouse now at this point. Makes sense when you consider that. Yeah, you said the big I word, which is investors, which is probably a lot of what's going on here as well. They're probably getting pushback from people who are saying, I'm sorry, but without this big cushion of profit, we're not making as much money as we'd like to. We want gold toilets too. And so Tim Sweeney, then to make them happy, has to say, well, the only thing we can cut are, people with families, wherewithal. So yeah, we're just going to do that instead.
Right, but they're
God
also cutting
forbid we
back
touch the
on
investment money.
the they're also cutting back on the different ways Fortnite can be played in the rocket racing, ballistic, and festival battle stages as well.
I do have to say, that's not super surprising to me. I feel like a lot of those modes were not necessarily dead on arrival, but definitely felt like they were experiments. I've played, for example, both Rocket Race and the Fortnite Festival battle mode. And while interesting in theory, they always seemed like they had low low numbers of people playing them at any given time. And also, they're just okay. Like the battle mode works in on paper, but I think that the regular festival mode is just more fun. So yeah, I'm not surprised that those are getting shut down, but at least move those people to other projects, not just cut them completely. Like that's just really unfortunate that they couldn't just move them to like the Battle Royale team or something where they could use some extra hands or something. It's unfortunate that their answer to this was, well, cut the whole teams. Like just they're just gone. Bye. And just really disappointing when you see a developer make that kind of decision. And then yeah, really briefly, I want to touch on mobile stuff. I guess there's a non-zero chance that not having a mobile like audience playing your game and putting money into it probably did put a little bit of a dent on the amount of money that Fortnite was making. But emphasis on little, right? Like once they put it back on mobile platforms consistently, yes, there'll probably be more money coming in than there was before. But I just can't imagine it made that big of a difference. Like when you still have the PC version concurrently being like forever, like since it launched almost, being in the top 5 games played on every console and on Steam. Like it's really hard to argue that. Like, it's still the biggest game on the planet. There's no way around it. And I just don't understand how even taking it off of mobile for a year and a half or however that long that was really put that much of a dent in their earnings.
I mean, how much of this do you think is being Epic Games seeing all the gotcha free mobile games that are coming out and being like, well, they're taking away money from us, so we have to cut our costs down.
I don't think so. I think that that's very much the Don Draper in the elevator meme. I do not think they think about that at all. That's a different genre, different competitor, doesn't play in the same space. I think they maybe care what PUBG does, but even PUBG is not what PUBG used to be. And so, yeah, I think that they're not really probably thinking of the gotcha games as a threat. Not yet, at least.
I don't know. They're making millions on millions of dollars every month.
Yeah, but they're very different kind of
User base.
well, they're different kind of way that they make money. There's no gambling in Fortnite.
No,
Um,
but there's V-Bucks. If you're not spending money
yeah,
on your V-Bucks, what
there's
are
the
you spending
battle
on?
pass
Battle
and
Pass.
stuff, and that's, that's connected. I just think it's like a different kind of strategy. And I just don't think that the gotcha mode will ever catch up to the amount of success that Fortnite has. And
You may be wrong there, but
it's a very, very contrarian mood today.
I don't know. Look at Fortnite revenue, and it made $3.5 billion in 2023. So where'd
Yeah,
those billions of dollars go?
this is what I was saying. Like, I just don't get it. But hey, CEOs are going to CEO, and they're CEOing more than ever in the year 2026. So yeah, it just sucks. It has to be on the backs of people who put a lot of hard work into Fortnite. And yeah, I hope they find their feet somewhere else. But man, the job market is bleak right now in the games industry, and I don't know. That's kind of the feeling right now. The vibes are bad, and I really hope that they do, but the vibes are atrocious at the moment.
I'd like to think that gamers finally realize that paying for skins is not as rewarding as they think it is.
They never will. They like looking at things.
All right. Well, let's move on then. Have you played anything new?
No, not really.
Me neither. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I haven't.
Yeah, this is the first year in 5 years that I have not played the show. I didn't buy it this year because I was waiting for the mobile game that still hasn't come out.
Yeah, someone announced when that mobile game is being released.
No, I'm like, okay, it's time. The season started.
All right, well,
Let's go.
that's a good segue into television. And we start
It is
television with the Sports Corner.
indeed.
And as you were saying, MLB, the game, also the show, is officially here.
Yes.
Yeah, it is opening day, or it was opening day on Wednesday, where we saw the Yankees take on the Giants in a more spectacle than action game, I would say.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
And I don't know. What do you think of the Netflix broadcast? Because the internet has some thoughts.
Oh yeah, and the internet is mostly right here. It is Netflix's first time broadcasting a baseball game, and you couldn't tell. No, I'm kidding. You could absolutely tell. The score bug is awful. It looks like a chipmunk, somebody pointed out, which I think is really funny. The text is too small for anyone to read it with it unless they have a massive television. Um, the broadcast would cut away from things that are important. The viewpoint cut off second and third base. It was pretty lousy from a technical standpoint. Matt Viscarsion said quoted something vaguely racist that I guess Albert Pujols said. Yeah, the hits kept coming, and they weren't from Aaron Judge, that's for sure.
Uh,
Uh,
yeah, he had a very historic day, though.
An historic day of not having a hit in the opening game, which was shocking for Aaron Judge, but not as shocking at how Logan Webb did for the Giants, who also struggled after the first inning. It was a weird game. And it started this theme through all of the opening day games that we've seen, or opening week games, I guess could say, throughout the week, which is we live in topsy-turvy land now because teams that shouldn't win in matchups were winning, pitchers that should have gone through most of the game were pulled in the first. I'm talking about you, Paul Skeens. And it just caused complete and utter chaos. Unless you're a Brewers fan, they did great. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, it was a disaster. But yes, it started with that bad juju from the Netflix presentation for sure.
Yeah, there's a new favorite player out there that the internet has fallen in love with, shortstop Kevin McGonigal, or as they're calling
Yes,
him, Professor McGonigal.
I was hoping people wouldn't use that
Oh,
nickname.
you
It's
knew they were going to
2026.
use that name as soon as they said McGonigal.
Disappointing. Pardon. But yeah, no, that's disappointing. The baseball fans should be better than that.
You
Yeah,
know
no,
they're
he had a
not. You know they take the
sup
lowest hanging curveball they can.
it's true. They swing at it and they miss it under the zone.
They
Speaking of the
swing at
zone,
everything. That's the joke.
yes. Speaking of the zone, ABS is here. The automatic balls and strikes system has made it to the major leagues and it's already causing a stir.
Yes, although you wouldn't know if you were watching that Netflix game because they
No
did
one,
not show it.
yes, no one used it until when they finally did. They were cut to a Lauren Shahadi interview and did not actually show the actual ABS being used, which was really weird. But hey, what are you gonna do? Yeah, it was awkward. But you're getting a lot of opinions about the ABS. Every single game I watched on Thursday, because it was the opening day for that market, had to re-explain what it was.
Mhm.
And so it was fun to hear the same rules over and over again. And then it also got a little peek behind the scenes about how like certain teams are approaching it differently. I heard one team, I unfortunately I don't remember who was who, but like one team was like, so, oh, they told all their pitchers that they can't use it because pitchers technically are one of the three people who can use it. It's
Mhm.
the person at bat is the catcher and or the pitcher. And apparently one team was like, yeah, pitchers, no, we're blocking you. Another one was like, oh yeah, in spring we were like taking notes about who was using it correctly and who was using it incorrectly, and basically that was going to determine who was going to be allowed to use it. One team said, "Oh, we're not going to touch it until the eighth or ninth inning," which I thought was an interesting idea. So yeah, like people are already like different teams are already interpreting the ABS in different ways and trying to figure out how they're going to use it. And so it's as a result, it's been used surprisingly sparingly in the actual major league games, as opposed to how often it was used in kind of a test way in spring training.
Well, I think it's done on purpose because you're only getting two challenges per game. As long as you keep winning those challenges, you keep your challenge. So it is, I mean, it's still easy. It's still not easy, but it's still early in the season
Yeah,
that they're still tepid to use it because, like, you may want to use it, but oh, my coach might get mad at me
yeah.
if I.
Yeah.
tap my helmet, and I'm wrong.
Also, a lot of people were talking about how tricky it is because it's basically it has to be the first action you make after it because you have like
Yes.
2 seconds. So if you're a batter
Sometimes
and
not
you
even
think,
that.
yeah, and so if you're a batter, and I think the example that I heard at one of the broadcasts was one guy, his helmet fell off and he had to reach down and grab his helmet and then he hit it. And they didn't let him take the challenge because it wasn't the literal first thing he did. So of
Yeah,
course,
another
like,
time,
was he supposed to
one of
touch
the
his head?
batters
Like,
flipped his bat because he thought it was
yeah,
a ball. So he flipped the bat and then he tapped his helmet because he was
right.
like in the motion of like tossing it
Yeah.
away,
It's like,
thinking it was a
no,
ball.
you can't do that. It's like that's how fast. It's to, I guess, keep people from like from the dugout being like, call it,
Yep.
cancel it. Yeah, but interesting nonetheless. So it's been compelling first few days of baseball, even if the results have been literally a hard like impossible to predict.
Yeah, but we're not gambling on this,
No,
right?
no, no money, no money.
Oh, well, anyways, yeah, baseball is here. It is in, you can pardon the pun if you want, but I'm just going to say it, full swing.
Yes, it is. Yes.
And we're off to the races, and hometown heroes here, the Angels, are off to an undefeated season. In fact, half of the teams are off to an undefeated season. How long that will last will determine probably by this weekend.
Yeah, or maybe in like 3 hours.
I mean, for all
Anyways,
teams, but yes,
yeah, yeah.
because literally in baseball, it is impossible to be undefeated.
Oh yeah, there's just the odds are not in your favor in any possible way
Yeah,
there.
you can't go 162 and 0.
You could try, but you will fail.
All right. Speaking of, let's talk about real quickly the NFL.
Yeah.
We are currently less than a month away from draft day, so be prepared. The Raiders are still on the clock, and top projections now may not even have the drafting Mr. Mendoza in the number one spot. We'll see what happens as it gets closer. But
Mm.
after the draft day, we then have the start of the NFL season. And the NFL has announced that the Super Bowl champions, the Seattle Seahawks, will open the season, well, but not on Thursday for Thursday Night Football. Instead, they will play week one on Wednesday. The change is being made because of the other two teams in the NFC West, and it's hilarious. So the Seattle Seahawks, they will play because they're world champs the first game of the season. They don't know who their opponent is though. However, on the literal other side of the world, in Melbourne, Australia, the Los Angeles Rams and the San Francisco 49ers, who are both in the Seattle Seahawks division, will play their season opener on Thursday night.
Wow.
So the Seahawks will play their NBC Thursday night football opening game that they will on Wednesday. Then the next day, the Rams will play the Niners on Friday morning, 10:35 a.m. local time in Australia. Friday morning, which
Oh
means
my
it
God.
is 8:35 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific time on Thursday night in the
Uh,
US.
you need to like put this schedule in your own calendar because it's impossible to remember this.
Oh no, see, it still plays normally here in the US, but if you're watching in Australia or you're attending the game in Australia, you're technically attending a Friday morning game at 10:35, which I can only assume is going to throw off both of these teams' schedules like completely.
Yeah.
Because basically, essentially, they're playing a high school game, a college game, Friday afternoon or
Yeah.
Friday morning before it even hits the afternoon.
Wild.
But yeah, the Seattle Seahawks are before the ball's even snapped, before the ball's even kicked off, already being screwed by the other two teams in their division, and I think it's great.
Oh man, that's funny.
All right. But before we get to that professional football, we got to talk about the other professional football. UFL is here. It is kicking off tonight. Are you as excited as me?
I don't think it's possible. No.
I don't think many people are as excited as me, but it's here. It's time to watch the UFL happen yet again. It
How are
is
you
not
not
going
some
away,
sort of
people.
UFL like YouTube influencer? Like you're the only person who I ever hear talk about it. Like how are they not like paying you to cover game?
How do you think I'm wearing this shirt?
I don't know what shirt that is. Whereas that was for the audio listeners. I wasn't supposed to break your joke there. Sorry.
Yes, because that's how I keep the shirt on my back. That is the joke.
Ah,
But as with the UFL starting this weekend, for those of you not into alternative football methods, we do have something for all you marigold tequila sippers, enjoyers out there.
okay.
As Georgia is once again right around the corner, and the Masters of golf is next weekend. And there's already a bit of controversy as Tiger Woods has
Yes.
already been in a car crash as of, I think that was this morning I saw.
This is breaking today,
Yes.
just hours ago.
Yeah. In the Florida is off of Florida. Um, Tiger Woods was involved in a two-car crash where one of the cars flipped over. Apparently, everyone is okay. There were some scrapes and bruises, but yeah, involved in a um, devastating car crash.
Yeah.
All right. But as with the Masters, we do get the Masters dinner champions, and last year's champion, Rory McIlroy, will be hosting or selecting the dinner for this upcoming year. Would you be interested in some yellowfin tuna, some Wagyu filet mignon, and top it off with some sticky coffee pudding?
I tried the pudding. That sounds okay.
Yes. Also, a premium wine list,
Mm.
only for Rory. So yeah, that's the joy of winning the Masters. You get to plan next year's dinner.
All right.
All right. Let's go then into some playoff sports, starting
Hmm.
with the NBA. As the playoffs are just around the corner, and we have some teams who have already qualified, including the Pistons, the defending champion Thunders, and the Spurs. They've all clinched playoff spots. Meanwhile, on the other side of that coin, officially and mathematically eliminated are the Wizards, the Nets, the Pacers, the Pelicans, the Grizzlies, the Mavericks, the Jazz, and the Kings. Technically, the Bucks and the Bulls are on the cusp of elimination, not mathematically eliminated yet, but also they're like 5 games behind. And unless some team just goes on a massive losing streak, I don't see either the Bucks or the Bulls getting in at the last second there.
Mm.
Uh, but what we do know is that at least on the Western Conference, the teams that are eliminated are like officially eliminated. We already know who's going to be in the playoffs because they do the split of playoffs and the 14 playoff in play-in little bracket.
Mhm.
So they're vying for like, are you officially in or are you doing the play-in in?
Got it.
And we'll have those answers in the coming weeks as the basketball wraps up.
All right.
Same thing with professional sports on the other side there. Playoff hockey. The Avalanche and the Stars have both clinched playoff spots. And then eliminated are the Rangers and the Canucks. Everyone else still fluctuating, can make it, mathematically not eliminated, even though sometimes it does feel like you are eliminated.
Yeah.
Uh, but we do have a bit of a news for NHL. As the number one draft pick in 2015, Connor McDavid has finally topped 400 career goals, which also happened to mark his 1200th point. This means that he is now the third fastest player to reach that mark, behind Gretzky and Mario Lemieux. And side note, he technically just needs one more assist to reach 800
Yeah.
assists.
So already making an impact in the league. Names being mentioned by two of the highest scoring players in the league. So yeah, not bad.
I think you got that year wrong. It's not 2025, it's 2015. He's been in the league for 11 years.
Well, it's still like good to see.
Yeah, I mean, those are two rare names, rarefied air to be a part of.
Hmm.
And yeah, I mean, he still has a long ways to go to like be the top points
Yeah.
getter in hockey. But that's what you expect when he was coming out and being drafted, as everyone calls him Mick Jesus on the ice. And lastly, in sports news, it is the reason we did our Pokemon tournament, March Madness, as the Sweet
Hmm.
16 and Elite Games are occurring this weekend. By the time we record next week, we'll be literally on the verge of the final four, or the semifinals and the final matches.
Hmm.
We'll know who the final four will be and who will have a chance at that championship game to claim their one shining moment.
Exactly.
And then the Manly Man tears will fall from there. All right. I think that is everything for
Right.
sports.
Good to hear it. Lots of sports. We love sports here. But it's time to move on to one of my other least favorite sports, which is having to spend more money on things. Because our news story takes us to the world of Netflix. And you'd think that for a company that's just saved a billion or $2 billion+ by not having to buy another company would be saving money. But or like
Or
not,
putting that into the baseball broadcast.
or you would think, yeah, or not affecting the quality of their customers' experience. And yet, here we are. This you can categorize firmly in the because we can folder.
Hmm.
Because Netflix, for the second time in little over a year, is raising prices for its three plans in the US. The new pricing for Netflix plans were updated on its website Thursday. Under the higher pricing, Netflix's standard with ads plan will now cost $8.99 a month, up $1 from $7.99 previously. The standard plan, which has no ads and has viewing on up to two devices simultaneously, is rising by $2 from $17.99 a month to $19.99 a month. And the premium plan, the cream of the crop, no ads, streaming on up to four devices and with Ultra HD, that's 4K people, and HDR is likewise going up $2 from $24.99 a month to $26.99 a month. The increased prices will be applied to both existing and new members who will see the new plan starting Thursday, March 26th. The price hikes come, as I mentioned, just a month after Netflix abandoned its deal to buy Warner Brothers Studios and streaming business and received a $2.8 billion breakup fee from Paramount. So, yeah, you could argue maybe we're seeing that fee, but we shouldn't be getting it as consumers. Like, they still didn't spend the money to
Yes.
buy a company.
Yeah, they kept the money that they would have used to buy Warner Brothers Discovery, and
Yeah.
they got an additional $2.8 billion from Paramount to not purchase WBD.
Yeah.
And then they want to add more money from these increase in revenue. Why?
Again, it's just we're asking the same kind of questions that we were asking about the Epic Games thing. It's just at a certain point, it just has to be that somebody who put does numbers over at Netflix all day looked at a number and the gap between profitability and spending just wasn't what they wanted it to be. And their investors were going to be mad and their board was going to be mad. So they were like, well, we're scheduled for another increase in price. And even though we saved a bunch of money this year, we're still going to do it because, again, we can.
Because if you wanted to watch opening baseball, you had to watch it on Netflix.
Yeah, they kind of didn't give you a choice there if you were a Giants fan
Mhm.
or a Yankees fan. So it's like, yeah, like this is the strategy. This is the new cable is just like figure out ways where things that they can buy that people can't live without lock you into the subscription forever. This is what ESPN did with MLB TV. This is what they did with NFL Red Zone. It's like it's just going to continue this way. Is like if they find something that people like, they're going to like make a deal, keep it there for years, just so you're like locked into subscription for forever, and then
Right.
raise the price on you.
And normally like you would like bat an eye at this, but you remember when the premium tier was 17.99 a month?
Not that long ago.
No, no, it wasn't.
I think it was 19.99 when I signed up for it.
Right. And yeah, for the like the top tier.
Yes, for the top tier. This does roughly put it in line with HBO Max. Not that it needs to be, but like I guess maybe internally they were like, well, they're doing it over there. Maybe we can do it over here. It's just the price just keeps on rising.
Yeah, but at least with HBO Max, there's actually stuff I want to watch on there, and it's not a bunch of random shows and
Yeah.
imported shows over on Netflix.
Wow, you're just a Segway pro, aren't you? Because funny you say imported shows.
This is
Our
more of an exported
thoughts
show.
is well, yeah, it's an export and an import at the same time. It's very modern in that way. Yeah, is what we're going to be talking about in thoughts. And yes, I did watch this too.
Oh, thank
By
you.
the end of it, I was like, why did I do that? But I did.
Yep.
So
S and Luck.
what?
Wait, yeah, that's what we're talking about, right?
Say it again.
S and Luck.
No.
It's Saturday night,
Yes,
live
Saturday
from
Night Live
London.
UK. Yes, SNL UK, as the name implies, is the United Kingdom version of Saturday Night Live. Believe it or not, they had never tried it before. This is what they're doing. There are other international versions of SNL, but one from London and representing the UK is a new concept, and that is launched just this past weekend. First host Tina Fey, first musical guest Wet Leg, and it sure was a British version of Saturday Night Live.
They definitely did a lot of stuff that trying to make it their own. I wonder how much of this was heavily influenced by Tina Fey being a writer and former SNL
Mm.
head writer as well,
I mean, it did seem like a lot of the sketches were, of course, catered towards their guest, which is
as you
typically what they
should.
do.
Yeah.
But even the ones that weren't, I don't know. It was a weird thing. I mean, it's hard for any sketch show on their first episode because you do not know the people. You don't know the performers. And so
Mhm.
any of the first sketches with those performers are going to be kind of awkward because you're like learning who these people are. But I think they did the best they could by like with kind of trying to introduce the different personalities of the different performers. Um, it did seem to have just enough of a uniquely British sensibility where it didn't feel like it was 100% a retread. Like the sketches didn't feel like they would be exact sketches we'd see on the US version. But I feel like quality level, I mean, depending on how you look at it, maybe they nailed it because it pretty much had the ups and downs of a regular episode of SNL.
A more current episode of SNL.
Yeah,
Yes, you're not going to have a banger after banger after banger, especially going out
no,
of the gate.
no.
But what we did get, I think, like I said, was a lot of very British-centered humor.
Yeah,
I did appreciate that, not the cold open, but the first sketch with the Attenborough dinner from London, which I thought was a really great way to,
yeah,
one, have the entire cast out there, and two, do what SNL typically does, which is impressions.
yeah, yeah. They worked on their strengths, I think,
Mhm.
from what we can tell, obviously, with the first episode. And yeah, I do think that it has some uh there's some possibility there and gonna remain optimistic that maybe they can find their own voice. Uh because yeah, those are some big shoes to fill. That's a kind of a big shadow to get out from under. And so yeah, like once they start having British guests hosting and like more focus on British culture, then yeah, I think that they could have something interesting at least.
Yeah, it's not like they're going to be able to have like, I mean, yeah, if they're going to get more musical acts, specifically British acts on the show.
Mhm,
I think
mhm.
some of the strongest episodes from SNL is when they incorporate the musical acts in some of the sketches that are
Yeah,
game for it.
that'll be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and when they get like more prominent names, I think they want to get comfortable in the roles too,
Yeah,
because much like with new cast members in US SNL, it takes them a while to find their footing of not just what they're good at, but what they're good at writing for themselves as well.
for sure. It takes some time. And yeah, hopefully they'll come into their own soon.
Yeah, so positively optimistic then.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
All right. Well, did you watch anything else then?
No, no, nothing new.
All right. Well, then
All right.
let's continue on then.
Let's move on to cancellations and renewals.
What am I no longer watching?
After the fifth season, we will no longer be watching Hacks, as HBO Max has confirmed that season will be the show's last. This makes sense plot wise because they're kind of, coming to a natural end of what these characters can do. So, yeah, like I think that this is smart.
Yeah, I mean, most people didn't know that this would be the finale. They did get the revival, but in
Mhm.
the first promo for season 5 of Hacks, they pretty much said the final season of the show.
Yeah, yeah, more or less. That's where it was going to go.
Yep.
Paramount Plus has also confirmed that Star Trek Starfleet Academy will end after its second season. Depending on who you ask, it might be just because they didn't have any material left for that show, or it may have been an Ellison's like from the top. This show is too woke cut. I don't know. Whoever you want to believe. But yeah, that will be it for Starfleet Academy. I thought you would have some sort of reaction to that, but you did not.
Oh, no, this is my reaction to it.
You
I
don't
no,
care.
I'm one of the people who did not care for Starfleet
Yeah.
Academy.
Okay.
I didn't
We
care when it
watched
was announced.
the
I didn't care that
we
it
watched the
happened. It's
pilot.
just like
Yeah.
okay, just like another Star Trek thing that felt like a soulless. We have to keep Star Trek alive over at
I
Paramount.
mean, there's a little bit of that, sure, but I guess yeah, it'll be weird when there are suddenly no Star Trek shows. That's all. After getting so many over the last decade.
Oh, it'll be the same thing like when there was no more Power Rangers after getting years upon years of Power Rangers.
Yes, exactly the same thing as getting no Power Rangers. Exactly.
The crossover between people who like Power Rangers and people who like Star Trek is a circle.
I don't think that's true, but sure. Anyway, next up, Peacock is renewing Nelly and Ashanti, We Belong Together for a second season. Okay,
Did you know
sure.
this was a thing?
No, I'm learning this now. And CBS will be bringing back CIA for a second season. My favorite part of CIA is when they were marketing it, the early like ads for it kept saying from the creators of FBI, which made me laugh every single time because I'm like, well, yeah, that's how
Real
government
life
departments
there.
work. I know what they mean, but it's a funny sentence to say out
Yes.
loud. That's all I'm saying. Disney Plus is bringing back Wonder Man for a second season. People liked it. So there you go.
They like it because it was
Um,
short and it was different.
Different. Exactly. People like different, turns out. And Apple TV Plus, or wait, I guess it's not Plus anymore. It's just Apple TV,
Yep, they
has
dropped the plus.
confirmed that the sixth season of For All Mankind will be its final season. Yeah.
Correct.
So no more space travel. And then a couple Paramount Plus additions. Criminal Minds Evolution will get a 20th season. Yes, you heard that right. The spinoff is getting a 20th season.
No, this is was Criminal Minds, and then when it went to Paramount Plus, they changed it to Criminal Minds Evolution.
Oh, they
So this
changed
was
the
combined.
name. They changed the name,
Yes,
but they kept the season
yes,
number. That's confusing. Okay,
it
never
is.
mind. Fine. But like, yes. So
It's
that's
not the
technically
spinoff.
it's the 20th season of Criminal Minds.
Yes,
Okay.
but because it's on Paramount Plus, they call it
They
Criminal
call it
Minds
Evolution.
Evolution.
That's dumb. That's dumb. That's a bad idea. And then
Well,
School
I guess they couldn't call it
Spirits.
Criminal Minds Plus.
They should have.
Should have, yes.
And then School Spirits will get a fourth season on Paramount Plus as well.
Yes, it will.
All right. Lastly, let's talk about a couple of deaths this week. First, we have Nicholas Brendan, age 54, was an actor from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yep, that's all I had for notable. But yeah, 54. And
Yeah,
same with the
54.
next one,
Jeez.
51.
Then, yeah, the next one is Carrie Ann Fleming, 51, also very young, acted in iZombie and Supernatural. So, some staples of the WBCW universes, respectively,
Hmm.
unfortunately lost much before their time.
Yeah. As we know, especially with actors, 50 is not that old
No,
anymore.
no, it's not. All right, let's move on into the final section of the show, which is the movies section. And we always start it with the weekend box office numbers. Hey, you won one. I mean, I
Hey,
kind of gave that one to you, but it's
I'm
okay. You deserved it. You deserved to win. There was no way I could win if you were picking first, so it's fine. I'm okay with this. I'm
I
at
mean, the only way you
peace.
could have won is if we bumped up this number, but we put it at 45. You could have
Yeah.
won if we doubled that, because Project Hail
Yeah.
Mary knocked it out of the park.
It blew away expectations and in both domestic and globally. Here, Project Hail Mary made $80 million in its first weekend. So congratulations. Moving down to number two this week is Hoppers, which made $17 million. That's already at 120. That is a hit for Pixar. Number three, Durandar the Revenge made $10 million. That's at 14. I don't know what that is.
That is the Bollywood film.
Got it. Number four, Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. Great name. Made $9 million in its first week. And rounding out your top five, Reminders of Him, not Remainders of Him. That'd be a Mac movie. Made $8 million. That's at 33 million domestic. And in case you were wondering about the Pout Pout fish, like you always are,
Yeah.
um, as he pouts for the camera, that only made 1.3 million and is way down at number nine.
Yeah, I didn't see a whole lot of marketing for the Pop-Out Fish.
No.
It's gonna be one of those, oh, they made that movie into a movie?
Yeah, not great. Uh, but then instead we have what am I saying? Oh, I lost my track of thought, my train of thought because I was looking at. I was like, wait, oh, he did the edit. Okay, I was
Yes, I
like,
took them
we also
out.
have new releases this week, or should I say, new release sort of, and then new releases sort of. I don't know. This is going to be a confusing week because we have only one new release on Friday today, but then we have a midweek release.
Yeah, I guess we could
So
talk about it.
So yeah, but I guess we have to, right? Because we're not recording before that movie comes out.
Right.
So we'll mention it, but it won't affect this weekend, which is what we will be doing,
Hmm.
right? So yeah, okay. Keep that in mind. The movie that's coming out today is They Will Kill You. It's the name of the movie. I'm not threatening you.
No, Ghost in my back of my here. Yeah, They Will
Ooh.
Kill You. It's a comedy horror from Warner Brothers, starring Patricia Arquette, Heather Graham, and Tom Felton.
Sure. Yeah, why not? Are you sure they're not gonna try to kill you? Because I don't know, like a ghost in your room.
I don't know, something fell behind me. Oh, Blake Slate fell for some reason. I don't know
Oh,
why.
okay. Hmm. The ghost of Tom Felton, even though he's still alive. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I get.
Yeah,
I don't
weird. I'm
know.
looking at everything else that's coming out this weekend, and nothing is popping out except maybe the 25th anniversary of The Mummy Returns or the
Eh.
40th anniversary of Stand By Me.
So then in this case, what do? We just
Or
roll
there's
with
the Jimmy O Yang Finally Home comedy special.
now. I mean, I guess the move is to roll with week 2 of Project Hail Mary.
Mhm.
Should we, here's a pitch. Do we just leave this?
I think we just leave this.
Do we just leave this? Are you
I think we
okay
leave it
with
at
still taking
45.
the over on 45?
Yes, I think good word of
Okay.
mouth here is going to keep it at 45 plus.
Okay. Then let's just leave it.
All right, double or
Fine with me.
nothing.
Double or nothing.
Well, no,
Exactly.
not nothing, but just double. Let it ride, as they say.
But yes, as I mentioned, there is a movie coming out before our next recording. It won't hit the box office numbers until next weekend. But it is, of course, the Super Mario Galaxy movie, which comes out on April 1st, which is a Wednesday.
Yes.
But yes, that will be
There,
your number one movie next week.
yeah, it got a surprisingly new posters like this
Yeah.
past week. Kind of spoilery
Yes.
posters.
Well, they're official, so they're not spoilers, but I guess
Well,
they
they're
are
spoilers because they haven't
really
been like announced yet.
they're really showing their hand early about this movie. And I think maybe that's on purpose. Maybe they're just trying to get more people to care. Um, I mean, even if they didn't do that, this will be a huge hit. Like, there's pretty much no way it won't be. The first one was a massive success, and this one will follow suit. Um, plus,
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's not like
yeah,
the
plus
name that
more.
they're adding to this roster is gonna put it like that much over the edge. Especially because I literally a month ago literally trashed this name as that's it, your star is done now.
Hey, it just goes to show you that, like,
The man won't
never
die.
write them off. Never write them off. But yeah, yes, a lot of interesting cameo appearances from other Nintendo characters is what I will leave it at, just in case people who are listening to this have not seen any of these, this news that came out this week. But yeah, I don't know. I have no idea how to feel about this as a fan of Nintendo and the Mario universe. I just was so disappointed by that first movie that I just like have no faith that this will be any better.
Okay. I have a proposition for you.
Okay.
Because this movie is coming out on April 1st, commonly known as
Yes.
April Fool's Day,
Uh-huh.
will you go with me to see this movie dressed up as Mario and Luigi?
I'll have to think about that. Uh,
We have the costumes.
we do have the costumes.
It's not like
That
we're doing
is a
this
true statement.
randomly.
No, wow, I haven't worn it since that day, by the way.
I'm sure it still fits.
Probably.
I hope mine still fits.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll talk. I'll think about it.
Okay.
All right. Anyway,
Anyways.
that's your new release next week, so we'll talk about that next time. But yeah, for now, let's go into our movie news. And oh my God, what is this? A positive story in movie news? We did it, folks. We got there. We
Yeah.
waited just long enough, turns out, to watch something die,
Well, it wasn't
which it
that long.
was. Yeah, which is Sora. Sorry, spoilers for Kingdom Hearts 4. No, I'm kidding. Not that Sora.
Took the joke
No,
right out of my mouth.
yeah, I knew you were going to do it. Sora, not the character, but the product question mark from OpenAI. Yes, OpenAI will shut down its Sora AI video app just months after it first launched. Disney, who we talked about this on the podcast a while ago, is also exiting the deal it signed with OpenAI last year, in which it pledged to invest $1 billion in the company and agreed to license some of its characters for use in Sora. The goal, of course, was to integrate the tech into Disney Plus. Well, now OpenAI is dead, though the company or no, the open AI deal is dead, not open AI. Don't get too excited.
Not yet.
Though the company could ink a deal with another AI giant if they wanted to do something similar. This deal was the final one concocted by former CEO Bob Iger in December, only to be undone 4 months later by the new Disney CEO Josh D'Amaro, who officially sat in the big chair 5 days earlier. Of course, is it really that Josh D'Amaro made that call, or was it Sora died first and Disney pulled because Sora didn't exist anymore? I think it's probably the latter, not the former, because I wouldn't be surprised if Josh D'Amaro was just on board as Iger was about the possibility of what that could entail. But it doesn't matter anymore because yeah, Sora is dead. In case this doesn't really say the story here, it doesn't really say what Sora did. So I should probably say
It is
that for
Sora,
people
the
who aren't
AI
aware.
video app.
Yes, that doesn't really say what it did. It was a
Yeah.
generative AI product that basically was purportedly making films, short films most of the time, but had the potential, according to OpenAI, to eventually make full-length feature films, all done with generative AI. Of course, it now has not lasted long enough for that to actually happen.
Yeah, I mean, it was able to make couple seconds of
Yeah.
film-like materials
Hmm. Yeah,
with
like a
generative
movie,
prompts.
sort of.
Yeah. Yes, like, not as or is, but like.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing that seems to be the case for all this AI stuff, right? Which is they'll talk a big game about all the things it can do, but then where's the result? Like this, it reminds me a lot of the video game equivalent over at Google that they're calling Genie, which is basically, yeah, we can make a game that looks like Super Mario 64, except it kind of looks worse, and you can't actually play it, and also it only lasts for like 5 seconds. It's like, well, that's not going to put video game companies out of business. That's not a video game then. Like, you're not making a thing that is enough of a like the actual thing. Like,
Well,
anyway.
the AI video app is cool. It's novelty, but is it something that you're going to, like social media, log on every day and create something? Are you going to log on every day and ask it questions, ask it general prompts? If your daily active user drops, and I'm sure Disney saw the numbers for in just these past 3 months from when they made the deal, that it's not being supported as they had hoped, that
Yeah.
yeah, they're going to pull out of the deal, that they're going to be like, okay, this is not where
Yeah.
we want to go anymore.
Almost like it's kind of like a novelty that is never going to live up to the hype. Anyway, so yeah, good news, relatively speaking. Though fewer things that are purportedly Gen AI creating tools, which just pulls from a lot of people's copyright, the fewer the better, in my mind. And I think that this is the move. And Disney is smart to get out. It may be the only smart thing they've done in the last year.
Are you saying live action Moana is not the smartest thing they've done all year?
Oh, yeah, we didn't even talk about those pictures from the set with The Rock looking
The trailer is
like,
out. What are you talking about?
oh boy. Yeah, no, I just saw the pictures though, and oh boy, The Rock looks rough in that thing. I will continue my plan of never seeing that movie. All right. Anyway, that's it for movie news. One last thing before we go today. You watched a new release.
Yes, this was, I guess, supposed to be a theatrical release. It was originally in new releases,
Hmm.
but apparently it is skipping theaters and going straight to Hulu.
Sign of
Uh,
quality.
Kind of actually, yeah, it tells you about the quality of the food. It is called Mike and Nick,
You.
and
Mhm.
Alice,
Mhm.
and kind of a time travel movie. Where that is both the same Nicks, a Nick 6 months in the future and a Nick in present day. This film has quite a well-known cast in Vince Vaughn, James Marsden, Isaac Gonzalez, Keith David shows up, Jimmy Tataro's here, Stephen Root is here, Dolph Lundgren's here. It's like, oh, like they got this person, they got that person, huh?
Sure.
It's supposed to be, it's labeled as like an action comedy, there is comedic elements, but not enough to make me kind of laugh ha ha at it. It's not really jokey. It deals more with like I guess kind of situational comedy because you have the same guy in the same place. Uh, it seemed fun from the trailers. I didn't really have a fun time watching it though. I feel like there's an idea in here of like, oh, this can be funny, and maybe in better hands it could be kind of successful.
Sure.
But the way it was shot, the way it's produced, I'm gonna lay all the hands here at the director of why this failed because everyone comes across pretty flat. Everyone comes across pretty one note. It seems like they're trying to do faux action scenes like John Wick because it is
Mm,
based in kind of like a mob-ish setting. But all the actions does feel slow. The camera movements don't feel as crisp as something they're trying to emulate.
mhm.
And the jokes aren't like punchy enough to make me like enjoy it or laugh at it. So if
Yeah.
you do happen to come across this, you're better off watching something else. Don't watch Mike and Nick and Alice. Because even when you get to the end and the big like reveal, twist, turn, whatever you want to call it, doesn't hit by the time you get there.
Yeah, no, I had just found out this existed today because suddenly it started getting marketed to me. But yeah, besides that, I didn't even know it was a movie. So yeah,
Yeah, I
you
saw
can
one of
skip it.
the ads for it and said like, "Oh, side like some review called it side splitting." I'm like, "Yeah, take out my spleen. I'd rather do that. Side splitting."
Yeah, actually, split my side. That sounds like a party compared to this. No, yeah. Okay, cool. I
Yeah,
will
that is a skip.
skip it. That's a skip. All right. Any other movies this week?
Um, no, but just a real brief news that we will probably hear none of until it comes out. Speaking of just real quick nugget of a thought news
Mhm,
here that
mhm, mhm,
Ryan Gosling from Project Hail Mary is teaming
mhm.
up with yet another pair of directors who have yet to direct a movie in a long, long time.
Okay.
The Daniels, in their
Oh
next
wow.
secret
Okay,
project,
sure.
have I saw that they have signed Ryan Gosling to their next secret project following Everything Everywhere All at Once.
All right. Well, we'll see if more news comes out of that soon. That's interesting. I will say that. That is
Mhm.
at least interesting.
Yep, sounds interesting. But yeah, I
I
got
did
nothing else
watch
in movies.
the hottest movie of 2007. I watched There Will Be Blood for the first time this week,
And
but
not No Country for Old Men.
I haven't seen that either. So that's next. That's on the to-do list as well. But
Oh, we're on the
yeah,
PTA train.
yeah, we're on the PTA train. We also, I think next up is The Master. So yeah, we're gonna go through them. But yeah, what a movie is what I have to say about that.
Yeah. Did you get a milkshake
Yeah,
after?
I did not. But man, I want
It
one of
did
those
his
straws
job.
that like, I just want one of those straws that goes across the room that he's describing. That sounds great.
Right.
Anyway. Ooh. Okay, well, we'll talk about that another time. For now, though, that's it for the movie section, and that means that's it for the Media Boat podcast. So, thank you everybody for listening and or watching. If you'd like to watch and or listen, there are places you can do so. If you want to watch the videos, we are on YouTube. Search YouTube for Media Boat Podcast, and you'll find our channel there. Mike's been doing some work sprucing it up. So check out all of that on our YouTube channel. You can like, subscribe, and comment. You can also find us in audio form. We're Media Boat Podcast on all of your podcast catchers. So search us there. On the internet, you can find us at Blue Sky, Media Boat Podcast, or is it just Media Boat Cast? I forget. Whatever it is.
MediaBoatcast.bsky.
mediabookcast.bsky.social. And last but not least, you can find us and email us at mediabookpodcast@gmail.com, where you can ask us questions, give us feedback about the show, and more. Whatever you want, we'll read those questions on this show. All right, that'll do it. We'll be back next week. I'm sure we'll have plenty to talk about sports and movies and all sorts of other bits and pieces. So stay tuned for that.
Yep, like I said, we'll have more. We'll know who will be in the finals for the NCAA brackets,
Yeah,
and we may or may not have seen the Marvel movie by then.
yeah, maybe we'll see.
But yeah, we'll be back next time with more news, more thoughts, and more of us.
All right.
Okay, bye.